Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Why, hello there. I don't know why my background is dark, but cold is the void, and welcome to yet another Alpha X production here, brought to you at twitch.tv/AlphaXSC2. We are set and ready to go for another Alpha X Junior Championship season. We are starting with Season 6. We have so many things to talk about as we get set and wound up, and I'll figure out why I don't have a background behind me. But until then, we have got a treat for you. We're going to be jumping into our first series of this Group A. We'll talk more about the layout and the different players that are participating in this event and what this event is, because if this is your first time checking out a Junior Championships cast, you might be asking yourself some questions. But we'll get back to that in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump on in to our first series of the day, and I'll tell you a little bit more. Spawning in the bottom right of Nightshade LE, our loud Protoss, playing for Alpha X. Give it up for Ro8. Spawning in the top left, our blue Protoss, playing for REG. Give it up for Optimistic. Oh, PvP to start us off today, but we cannot escape the loud, so I'm gonna crank that noise down just a little bit. So glad you guys are able to be here today. So let's chat a little bit here. Rushy, what am I watching? By the way, I'm Rushy. I never said that. How rude of me. Hello. My name is Rushy. Rushy, what are we watching today? We are watching the beginning of Season 6 of the Alpha X Junior Championships. Now, the Junior Championships is an 8-player GSL-style tournament featuring young players that can't yet compete in the ESL Pro Tour. It's kind of that big deal thing that you hear about. We used to call it WCS, and now ESL has taken it over. It's a whole thing. All players 15 years old and under who have never reached 6,000 MMR can compete. And we have new seasons monthly. Speaking of things that we have ourselves a little bit of a proxy here, but I'm unsure what Optimistic has or hasn't seen here. Now, Ro8 knows that Optimistic has seen this. I'm wondering if it's just going to be a little bit of a tease. So anyways, we're still letting this game wind up a little bit. We got a proxy Robo Bay coming out, both players and hitting the field with 2 stalkers. But this Season 6 has 8 players inside of it. We'll have 4 play today. We'll have 4 play next week, Saturday. And then on Saturday, May 30th, happens to be my birthday, we will have the semifinals and the grand finals. So since this is a GSL style tournament, 4 players playing today. We have 2 matchups. We'll have a winner's match. We'll have a loser's match and a decider match, and the top 2 will move on to our main event on May 30th. Well, it looks like Optimistic is wanting to move down to the bottom side of the map. I suppose we'll actually talk about the game. We'll get back to more information about the event as a whole a little bit later, but right now we're going to dive on in. We do already have one Immortal out, Warp Prism on the way for Ro8. And Optimistic is feeling optimistic here. He's going to try and move down to his natural expand. I think that's a little premature, but with the Stalker count, Optimistic feels like he can hold this. But he doesn't have a good answer for the Immortal just yet. Good Warp Gate is done for Ro8. Forces a cancel by Optimistic. I think that's a pretty good situation here. We are going to get a couple of depths to be able to shade up and in. And at this point now, Optimistic really is not out onto the map. He's also supply blocked. Good force field, but doesn't catch any of the stalkers. The Warp Prism makes sure that those stalkers get back out alive. And A-Rock Fire is going to try and move his way down. Now, he has walled himself in for the immediate future. An Immortal for Optimistic is rolling out onto the map to join the one that is already there. So both players rocking 2 Immortals. Oh, that's cute. Okay. A-Rog using the shades as high ground vision to help position his army, but not going to be able to be that cute. Warbins keep coming in on both sides. A-Rog Fire's done a good job of mitigating the defender's advantage for Optimistic by having that proxy robo and being able to walk those Immortals over right quick. One stalker does get picked away. Some good juggling back and forth, keeping most of the units alive. A-Rog Fire losing a little bit here and there. Supplies are pretty much dead even right now. Optimistic does have a little bit of a worker lead, but really not any place to put those extra workers. So A-Rog Fire going to keep up the pressure. I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen a Nexus go down just yet. It feels like A-Rog Fire has locked this down a little bit, has also taken a bit of an army advantage as well. But he's going to choose to keep on building stalkers. He wants to get to that critical mass of units to be able to push on in and deal some more damage. Another good force field on the ramp, followed by some more great placement. Some really good force fields from the ground will isolate off a little bit of Optimistic's army and force him to trade slightly inefficiently. Another pylon going down in the natural. Optimistic is going to see that a second Nexus isn't here, so he's going to have to keep creating units. Needs to stay focused on that army. He does not want to accidentally roll over and fall apart in this game number 1. A couple of workers do get traded out here. Some good lifts by the Phoenix will force this fight to engage. A-Rog Fire needs to be careful. All of the Immortals in the air not able to be a part of the fight. One Immortal does go down. Second one does get picked up and ferried to the back. Second Immortal juggled here as well, but those Phoenix are going to clean up that Warp Prism, and with that Warp Prism falling, I think A-Rog Fire is going to have to back off here. He does have 3 Immortals, but he's got to run away with those. Oh, he is going to try and recall here. He is going to get that one out, but that is a textbook hold by Optimistic, not overcommitting, being very, very patient. And behind this, A-Rog Fire really doesn't have a whole lot. He's got a few warp gates, so he can get things out onto the map. A Warp Prism was made by the robotics facility. A little surprised that Optimistic didn't want to go directly for it, since I think he no, he doesn't actually know where that is. Okay. So lacking a little bit of that information, but there's just not that much here to deal with the Phoenix. So the Phoenix are going to be able to just continue to lift, and Optimistic now with a staggering army lead, 40-24, is just going to be able to steamroll through this army of A-Rog Fire. And GG is called. Map number 1 going to Optimistic with a very, very strong stand at the top of his ramp. I still haven't figured out what's going on here with my background. Okay, so I can see my face. Oh, chat, I figured it out. I did a whole bunch of changing, and I just forgot to change it here. Oh, how silly. How silly of me. Oh, and Lord help me, I won't be able to find it. Oh, we've found it. Okay, all right, okay. We're going to get Xeris just delightfully plunked in back there. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. What's going on, everybody? So glad to see so many of you in the chat already. This is on a 2-minute delay, so anything you say to me, I will see it 2 minutes in the future. You will hear from me 2 minutes later. So. Oh, all right. So we're going to jump into map number 2 here. This is a best of 3. All of these matches today will be best of 3. True GSL style play here at the Alpha X Junior Championships. We're going to go to Eternal Empire. We'll have to see if Arog Fire wants to double down and go full PvP once again. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out with me. Glad you guys are here today. We're going to talk a little bit more here about the layout and more information of the tournament. Yo, thanks so much for all the follows. Oh. No. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. I even got the right transition today. Oh, chat. Oh, it feels so good. Feels so good. Let's go ahead and introduce our players spawning in the bottom left. Our red Protoss player playing for Alpha X. Give it up for Arog Fire. Yep. Okay. Hold on. Trying to gather more intel, and I did not gather it. Spawning in the top right. Our blue Protoss playing for Reg. Give it up for Optimistic. I'm uncertain. I am uncertain, chat. Don't think either of these players have Liquipedia, and that's, you know, that's kind of the joy and the downside of having these players that haven't quite made it into the scene just yet. Sometimes it's a little ambiguous. Regenerate. Oh, we found it. Okay. We found it. Okay. I feel like the big brain plays have come out for me, and I've been able to reclaim my glory as a caster here. Both players going to drop down that proxy pylon. We'll have to see. Looks like Optimistic's just going to drop the pylon to scout and then move out. Doesn't look like he has any reason to drop a building at it just yet. It's going to be another proxy robo out of our red Protoss player. And while these two start winding up here, let me tell you a little bit more about our tournament. So 2 group stages, 1 today, 1 next week, same time, same place. Top 2 players advance. It is a 4-player playoff. Single elimination bracket. The semis will be a best of 5. The finals will be a best of 7. The first place prize, $50. So hey, not an insignificant amount of money. Take a couple Saturdays out of the month of May. What are you doing in here? We're all sitting inside trying to protect ourselves from COVID-19. Why not make $50? Pencil your name in the annals of StarCraft 2 history in 2020. Seems like a great way to spend time to me. Hello, Demonium. Hello. He says, hello, future Rushy. Hello, past Demonium. I'm so happy you're here today. So this is a great tournament. If you don't recognize some of these names, that's because they're the future household names of StarCraft 2. You give it a chance, and they'll give you some great games. We're going to go into a Stargate here for Optimistic in this game. Optimistic needs to start reading that this is coming down the pipe. I think he's aware. Oops. I think he's aware that this is happening here, and he absolutely is now. Oh, he doesn't even get that out. Okay, so this is actually a cute little maneuver here by Optimistic, using the proxy pylon as a warp-in location. It is going to be a slow warp-in. But, you know, it's not a bad thing when time really isn't a factor here. Now, now Arog Fire has gone ahead and walled himself in, and he is going to try and drop a Nexus, or at least he's thinking about it. Ah, yep. So those Adepts are going to catch that probe out. So that probe is going to fall. So no incoming Nexus, at least at this point. Second Immortal on the way over. Some more Warpins by Arog Fire, and we find ourselves in the same position here. Very, very interesting situation here for our two players here. These Adepts are just going to come back home? Oh, okay, so he did warp in a Stalker or two at the back. I was going to say, why? Why not stay there and create all kinds of pressure? Doesn't make any sense. All right, so if we judge this off of the situation in game number 1, I mean, Optimistic's in a great position. Oh, he's actually able to get all of those in as well. Okay, so Optimistic has his entire army force back at home. And behind this, Arog Fire is able to start expanding. I think this is going to be the difference maker in map number 2 here for Arog Fire. Big shade forward. That's a lot of Adepts. A lot of Adepts could engage on that army. A very nice force field. And he's going to let the shades complete here. A majority of the army is caught out. He is going to be able to clean up this force before Optimistic's going to be able to join the fight with all of these. And that's a really great trade for Arog Fire. He catches both of the Immortals out. The Immortals have nowhere to go. There's no Warp Prism. Absolutely great play. I think Arog Fire jumps in on top of this, and this is a big difference maker. Arog Fire has the economy behind it. He is moving out, gets a great engagement. 2 of the Immortals do get lifted up. Some good positioning by Optimistic, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. If that last Immortal falls, and there it goes, that's going to be the end of the defense here. Some quick microing, and that's all he has. It's just pylons at this point. And we're going to go to a game number 3, Arog Fire, map number 2. Well played by our French Protoss player. Now, something I think is really interesting about this tournament is not only the age. All of these players are 15 years and younger. But we also have players from many, many different countries. Here are the countries being represented in this season of the Alpha X Junior Championships. We have France, we have Italy, we have Germany, we have, I believe, is that Russia? Yep. Great Britain, the United States of America. USA, USA, USA. We have China, and we have Belarus, or Belarus. I never know how to pronounce that one. Daemonium got a message from the future that he sent to the future by utilizing the present. Ouch. My brain. Oh, Daemonium, my brain. Ow. Ouch. Okay. We are going to map number 3 here. The rubber match. Winner's going to advance on to the winner's match a little bit later. The loser is not done. They'll move down to the loser's match a little bit later than that. So, utilizing a strictly GSL format here. And a flippy flip. And off we go. Ah, I love that screen wipe. That screen wipe is so good. Sun Lily, wherever you are, you the best. All right, we are loaded in to Simulacrum. Spawning, you know what? I'll be fair. Spawning in the top left. Our blue Protoss player. Playing for Regenerate Gaming. Give it up for Optimistic. And spawning in the bottom right. Our red Protoss player tying it up 1-1, looking for one more win to secure his trip to the winner's match. For Alpha X, give it up for Arog Fire. All right. Optimistic utilizing a little bit of SimCity. water, friends. So much water. Hope all of you are doing well, by the way, in the midst of our COVID-19 pandemic. We've been working at this hard for a couple of months, world. Some of us have been working harder than others. I respect that. I'm not saying that I'm one of the ones working harder. Well, my friend is. I won't suggest that. But we're doing a good job. We got to stay strong. Keep watching StarCraft 2. And soon, we will be back in stadiums once again, cheering on our favorite, all of our favorite people. And it'll be good. Okay. A-Rog Fire. He's thinking third time's a charm here. Another proxy robo facility. And actually off the top of this, Optimistic not getting out onto the map nearly as fast as A-Rog Fire. However, I think A-Rog Fire jumped on this one a little bit quicker than he did in game 1 and 2. So that is not an unreasonable expectation at this point. But unfortunately, Optimistic's not going to find this one anytime soon. Checking the bottom side of the map, not taking a look at the top. Kilo, I see that you are looking for a bracket. That's about the best I can offer you. Oh, he will. Oh, he might see this. No, I don't think he will. He's not going to get over far enough to scout that out. Very, very close, but no cigar. Oh, one time. Ooh, he does pick that up, so that's a great scout lost. Optimistic really wanting to get out onto the map. He does not know where any of this is at. Oh, A-Rog Fire letting that probe live to scout another day. And we're going to find ourselves in pretty much the same situation that we did in games 1 and 2. Optimistic shoved back into his base. Now, A-Rog Fire did find the solution in game number 2. Optimistic overcommitting just a little bit too much. But is Optimistic going to be willing to so brazenly shade forward when he knows that there are force fields available for his opponent? It looks like Optimistic is going to try and get down to the low ground, dropping a shield battery to help mitigate a little bit of that damage. But the probe is going to come out and get picked away, and both the probes out on the map have been killed. And this shield battery is completely unprotected. It is going to go down for free. Good engagement here by Optimistic, getting a nice concave on this army. Some very, very good micro. Oh, unfortunately, a Guardian Shield that does not really do a whole lot, so that is lost energy. And Optimistic is able to make it happen here. In game number 3, A-Rog Fire forced to pull back, but I think A-Rog Fire's pulling back before he's got deadly damage to deal with. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, A-Rog Fire. You're playing with fire, my friend. So the entire army of Optimistic is going to get pulled back home to help deal with this double immortal drop, which does get a nice amount of damage. I was thinking that those stalkers were going to get more accomplished against that warp prism, but not the case. And there is no production on the side of Optimistic. He just does not have anything going. I think he is supply blocked. Oh, and he is deeply supply blocked. Yeah, throwing down 3 pylons, realizing this a little bit too late. I mean, he's going to go almost 30, 45 seconds before he's going to have free supply to build. That's very dangerous at this point in the game, because A-Rog Fire is just continuing to produce his way up. Eating a little bit of a supply for a brief moment, but had a pylon ready to go. Optimistic going to lose yet another pylon. And now the numbers game is starting to become a difficult factor in this PvP. We all know that numbers are important here when you're looking at a mere matchup. And here we go, both players working with what they've got. 2 Immortals against 3. Some very good pickups by A-Rog Fire, trying his best to keep everything in the match. A big step forward here. Hasn't lost any of those immortals just yet. One immortal has gone down already for Optimistic. Optimistic's not feeling it. He's not feeling so much at this point, and everything's getting picked off. One immortal left, but he gets pushed all the way back, and GG is called. And Ro8 Fire, down 0-1, makes a claim in this best of 3 series and moves on to the winners match, and will be held in just a little bit of time. So very well played by both of our players. Ro8 Fire, our French Protoss, is going to be moving on to the winners bracket to face the winner of our next series, which will be Ghosty versus Optimistic, a Zerg versus Protoss. We are going to be headed over to the Americas server. Bum ba bum 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 bee. Ugh, feels good to be home. What's that? Oh yeah, that's just the sounds you hear on the Americas server. It's just what you hear. So normal day in America. I am not sure. And it doesn't look like Miguel is here to assist either, so unfortunately, we're just gonna have to deal, I guess. Let's see. I'm looking at the suggested tags that we could put in the stream, and one of them was like any %. Like, oh, I didn't realize this was a speed run. That makes sense. Funny stuff. All right, so we are getting set up here for our next best of 3 series. It's going to be, excuse me. Did I say Protoss? Wait. Oh. Whoops. My bad. It's going to be a Zerg versus Terran. Aha, ZVT. Endless TV, our American Terran. And Ghosty, playing in the last season, actually making it pretty far, our German Zerg. And as I alluded to, this is an event that has multiple seasons to it. So we are in season 6. To give you some idea here, Ro8 Fire, the winner you just saw in the previous matchup, was the 2nd place winner in season 5 of the Alpha X Junior Championships. Ghosty taking 3rd place last season. And it looks like this is Endless TV's 1st season with the Alpha X Junior Championships, which, by the way, speaking of which, if you are interested in supporting the Alpha X Junior Championships, check out our Patreon, AX Junior Championships, to help us support the up-and-coming players in the StarCraft 2 scene. We know that we got like a big event today in TSL 5 happening right now, and it's obviously very easy to choose lots of great StarCraft 2 content right now. And we are so grateful that you would spend time with us here at twitch.tv/alphaxsc2. So we're going to take a super quick break just to let our players go through picks and bans, and we will be back in just a short amount of time. Don't go anywhere. My name is Rushy. You're watching Group A of the Alpha X Junior Championships right here at Alpha X SC2. We'll be right back right after this. Alrighty, welcome back. We are set and ready to go here in our next series. It is going to be a ZVT, Ghosty versus Endless TV. We're going to be starting on Eternal Empire. This is our second match. The winner will go on to face Arog Fire in the winner's match. Immediately after this, the loser will go on to face, Optimistic, our British Protoss player. Should do everything I can to keep recognizing the nationalities of all of our players, as I do think that's a very unique portion of StarCraft 2, right? We've got so many different countries participating in what might be one of the best video games of all time. I feel confident making that statement. I do. All right, we are jumping in to Eternal Empire. It's going to be another best of 3. We'll have to see what our opponents decide to open up with, in this first game. So let's hop right on in and introduce our first player, spawning in the bottom left of Eternal Empire. Playing for Magdeburg Esports. Give it up for our German Zerg, Ghosty. And spawning in the top right, our Red Terran, playing for Remember the Game. Our American Terran, give it up for Endless TV. Okay. Looks like it's going to be a pretty standard opening for both of our players today. Again, this is the second series in our Group A. Our Group A. Again, these are GSL style groups, so match 1, match 2, match 3 will be the winners, match 4 will be the losers, and match 5 will be our decider. Now, one thing that I do enjoy about casting some of the younger players is we might see some, unorthodox builds. Won't call them bad, we won't call them good, but we all know that sometimes these players will get creative when it comes to how they want to approach an engagement. If they're anything like me, sometimes they struggle with a certain unit composition and try and work their way around that scenario. So I don't know about you, but spellcasters, I just can't deal. So I will make lurkers and position them around the map until I am blue in the face. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? Or is it the mother of innovation? I can't remember. Wait, innovation can't have a mom. He's a computer. What? Okay, Ghosty gets out to a third base at a reasonable time here in this game. So both players going to be opening up rather standard here. It is going to be a 1-1-1, although it does feel a little bit on the slow side here. So we're going to have to see where that factory is going to lead us. Are we going to see those Hellions jump out right away? Are we going to be trying to move into any battle cruiser options here? We'll just have to see. Endless TV is new to this tournament. Wait, wrong one. Shoot. We've done it. We've done it, chat. I am your night bot. I'm not a very good one, but I am there. So Ghosty's gonna float on in. He is going to see the 1-1-1. A tech lab going down on the barracks will indicate that it is going to be a stim timing. And stim does get started. We're going to see if he keeps it or if it was just a fake. It looks like at this point it is going to be a stim timing Hellions out on the map. Hellion and Reaper are going to move across to try and deal some damage to the creep, which is now moving out here. And Ghosty's just droning. Putting lots of drones out onto the field. And this is a pretty standard opening for Zerg in this matchup. Lings are going to get out onto the field. Actually is going to try and hold those Zelnaga towers for the short term. But now okay, so Ghosty will get the opportunity to see Endless moving across the map. Queens are already repositioned. They're in a good spot. Ling's going to sneak up in and get some, I won't call it good scouting information, but we'll see more Marines, more Hellions, as Ghosty works to try and continue to zone this back and away. Endless TV is going to have to shove off for now. This third command center is also on the way, so this isn't a major commitment behind this pressure, which is pretty common. I mean, we see 6 Hellions and a Reaper, and I would say a majority of our matchups here at this level. Oh, and that Liberator getting picked off almost immediately by that Spore Crawler and Queen, which is going to allow Ghosty to continue focusing on the harassment here by the Hellions for Endless TV. That third base is not taken just yet, but the command center is only just finishing up here at the 5-minute, 30-second mark. We are in a spot where that stim pack is done. Combat shield on the way. It's going to be a while before we see any upgrades here. No engineering bays out of our red Terran at this time. So what that also means is we're not going to see an armory come down just yet. A really nice surround on these Hellions is going to be able to whittle away at the forces here. And one Hellion left. And that Hellion is going to get cleaned up. That is incredible damage here for Ghosty. That's going to allow him to continue taking that 4th base. Not going to be a continuing concern of Ghosty's. And Ghosty's in a great position here as his supply starts to jump. He does have a bit of a bank. I think that can be easily mitigated at this at this point. And that one Ling is going to delay that third, which is a good position. And now the double engineering bay is going to come out. We're going to start seeing 1-1 worked out. But behind this, a macro hatch goes down. Ghosty just continuing to explore out onto the map. The creep keeps getting pushed forward. In fact, it's just now that he's able to get out to that third base to land. That's incredible damage. Spire on the way for Ghosty. More Lings out and producing. And he's just going to hold down that drone key. The drone's continuing to fly out here. We're going to see him jump up to 70, 80 probes at this point as Ghosty starts to prepare for this upcoming engagement. Baneling's on the way. Queen's going to be remaneuvered as well. Good stim forward here by Endless TV. Is going to have to pick up and leave one of those medevacs dangerously low. He is going to have to play very cautiously now. Endless does have that saturation out at the third base, but look at the comparison here for Ghosty. Ghosty already sitting on 4 full base saturation, and his 5th base is already on the way. So if you're a Zerg player in this position, this is an excellent spot for you to sit in. Oh, great catch by the Queens. The Queens do manage to grab that last medevac. This is getting to be spooky for Endless TV. Endless not getting the rolls to fall the way he wants them to. 1-1 just about completed for our red Terran. Infestation pit just about complete for Ghosty as well. Oh, a little bit of lag. Not me. Not me. Oh, it's actually one of our players. Oh boy. Okay, looks like we're okay.
Game
I was
paused.
gonna say. All right, so we're gonna take a moment here. Let's take a moment and let the players sort this out. Fortunately, we've got a great referee in Miguel, one of our French casters, taking care of business here. Looks like we have Spy in the chat. What's up, Spy? Orty used to have 6.5k MMR when he bought Bion's alt account on eBay. Nice. Good memes. Ghosty's currently watching his ping go from 2600 all the way down back into a reasonable range to play StarCraft. Yeah, it looks like we're just experiencing some issues with Eastern United States. All right, looks like Ghosty is set. We're going to go ahead and jump back in. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Now, what we know is that, I mean, there's a lot of writing on the wall here. Mutas are already out. Oh, those mutas are just on a rally. But now they are going to scout those medevacs. And they are going to pick off the medevacs, but it's going to come at the cost of quite a few mutas. That's a little bit more... Uh-oh. A little bit more than Ghosty probably wanted to expend here. But, I mean, he's in a position. He's maxed out. He's got a little bit of a bank going. Things are definitely looking pretty solid for Ghosty. Hello, Spy. Now you're hearing from me in the extra future. All right, so fourth base did go down. It's like a planetary fortress is going to try and drop in that location. But I mean, this is really where the large chunk of the excitement is going to take place. Ghost is going to push on up. I think he's got just enough. What a great surround coming in from all three angles. The Lings are going to just pour on in. Banelings don't quite connect with everything, so he's going to pull back off, try and get back onto creep. But all the tanks are now gone for Endless. Endless is going to have to engage this army without tanks. He does have tanks on the way, but he doesn't even have any out right now. Mutas are going to get in between the main army and the rally line. Oh, and he's going to just jump right on top of the armory here. That armory is going to go down. Oh, there is a mine. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature here. All right, so those mutas were able to get some really nice revenge damage. Jumping on top of all the different pieces. All right, so Hive now completing here for Ghosty. Ghosty playing really, really cautious. I feel like Ghosty has what he needs here to clean this up, but just being really patient. Maybe even toying with his opponent just a tiny bit. But I don't know, Ghosty, you were experiencing some pretty sick lag. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases now up for Ghosty. Ghosty gonna swing the mutas around the left-hand side. Oh yeah, this planetary is wide open and exposed. Endless has already started moving out. He's gonna pull back. Wants to try and defend this planetary, but I have a feeling, I mean, if Ghosty were feeling extra brave here, I think he would be able to jump on top of this. This army not gonna quite get there in time. Is gonna stim forward at the last second, but only to watch as his planetary crumbles into the ground. It's like concussive shells on the way. 3-3 as well as chitinous. So we have an Ultralisk Den out and ready to go. And take a look at this bank. 5K minerals, 2K gas. I think he could throw away the entirety of his army and just remax in Lings and Ultras and would be able to just move on forward. Okay, so that's a sizable amount of mines. It's going to take a nice little surround here, and that's exactly what Ghosty has dialed up here. Is going to get on top of all those mines. All of those mines only connect with Lings, so now this entire bio army is exposed. They are not able to stop. The splits are very, very good, but so many Banelings. With nothing left to deal with the mutas of Ghosty. Ghosty's able to just remax. More Banelings gonna come on in. 17 SCVs, and this was just a mow down. GG is called, and Ghosty with a very strong map 1 victory. So, well done. Alrighty. So we're gonna get set up for map number 2 here in just a moment. Folks, I can't remember if there is a Matcherino. Is there a Matcherino? No. Or if there is... Okay, Miguel has confirmed that that Nightbot is in fact not working. Sad day. Let's see. Can I look it up? Matcherino Alpha X Junior Championship. Season 12. Season 12, huh? Dang. I'm apparently behind. That happened all the way. Huh. Interesting. All right, well, let's pull up this page. I'm gonna pull up events. Season 10, Season 12, Season 9. Are we going backwards? Oh, I'm so confused. All right, well, anyways. Well, let's get into our next game. Off we go. We're hopping on a Nightshade, spawning in the bottom right. Playing for Magdeburg Esports, up 1-0. Give it up for our blue Zerg, Ghosty. And spawning in the top left, our American Terran. Playing for Remember the Game. Give it up for Endless TV. Okay. Look at these Bly strats. He's not even, oh, he's not even at the, not even there. But, you know, that's actually kind of a smart play. More now that I think about it. Because if you're Terran and you walk up to the edge of that line, you can see down and peek at the creep that's there, and you can probably see just a little bit of it forming here. But if you drop it just a little bit further off and to the right, you give yourself at least a little bit more room to build undetected. But Endless TV is going to come here. He's going to see no hatchery. And this has got to start some alarm bells. So if you're Endless TV, what do? You see a spawning pool, but you don't see a 12 pool. What an interesting situation here. So, Endless TV's gonna do the only thing he knows, and it's gonna partially build a supply depot here to protect. Ghosty. Ghosty's playing into it. Only now, Endless TV has found out. Uh-oh, I'm being bamboozled. So if you are Endless TV, what do you do? Okay, so he throws down a bunker. Are we really about to do this? I think so. I think we are certainly about to do this, Endless TV. Oh, the supply depot actually finishing out across the map. And Ghosty now going to try and drop some creep to push this forward. Endless TV's ready for the challenge. He has his bunker down. It's going to be a tech lab. He's going to try and get a tank out as quickly as he can, but he's going to have to move really, really fast here if Ghosty is going to be shut down in this game. Reaper comes across to try and deal some damage, but Ghosty finding the supply depot, so that's actually a great position now. All right, so the reactor is going to get picked off here. Both of the supply depots are dangerously low as well. What's giving him vision? Oh, there's that overlord. Okay. All right, so one of the supply depots is down. A tank is going to be able to hit the field. But Endless TV is going to get supply blocked off of the back of it. So it is going to be just one tank for the time being. And as that tank hits, that's going to force this push away, at least for the short term. I think the Reaper did get picked off. Yeah, Reaper got picked off. Ravager's going to try and get more bile damage done, but that tank is in just such a good position. Those biles are strong, but they're not strong enough to nuke that down with only 4. Endless TV, I was going to say he's been sitting on a supply block for a very, very long time. Second tank is going to come out the third base. It does manage to go down at the third base location. And I think Ghosty is going to try and toss down a fourth base behind this because he knows that this base is probably not long for the world. Viking comes out, is going to push away the high ground vision, and this is going to be all but shut down at this point. Okay, second tank is about to complete. And Ghosty is just going to try and macro off of the back of this. It is going to take Endless a little bit of time to try and clear up off all this creep. It is going to take a little bit of time to get out to that hatchery. I mean, it's going to take some time before Endless is even going to be able to make units to move. All right, no high ground vision. The Queen does soak up a good shot. Protects, and I think all of the Ravagers, all of them have survived here. One of them gets picked off. Oh, that was a long death animation there. Oh my gosh, was that? I think that might have been the Viking from the opening cinematic of Heart of the Swarm. Dang. And Ghosty is just in a good position here. He does have a lot of gas, but this is a lot of creep to try and deal with. Only now are Marines coming out 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. And these tanks are not going to feel super comfortable moving out on their own. So Endless TV is going to have a really good counter push here. But behind this, Ghosty has already put down a lair. His Spire is 3/4 the way done. He's got 2 bases back at home and actually has a decent drone count here, sitting at 33 workers. Endless TV has a tiny bit of a supply lead. But Ghosty's going to continue to try and hold this back for as long as possible, wanting to get those mutas out. I mean, he's got 8 mutas here very, very quickly. I mean, by the time the minerals catch up, he'll probably have 10. Oh, those medevacs are going to be really scary to deal with here, trying to engage on these units. Ghosty's going to finally get pushed all the way back. 26 lings on the way, really. Ghosty deciding to go for Lings here instead of Mutas. I think if you get 10 Mutas, you can probably zone all of this out. Ghosty in a bit of a supply block is going to build a bunch in a laser amount of Overlords as +1 does get set up. Large amount of Lings. Oh, ooh, that was actually really close. That was a lot closer than I think I would have initially called that. Stim pack just about complete here, so it's going to be in time for this 16 Marine push. Ooh, but Endless TV needs to be careful. He needs all of those Marines to fight all the time. Does toss away 5 of those Marines for almost nothing. Tank's going to sit back at home. This third base, I mean, is going to take forever because there's creep over here on this base. There's creep on this base. Ghosty has essentially put Endless TV into a 2-base all-in scenario. And now the Mutas are out. Mutas are going to clean up the remainder of these Medivacs. Medivacs are going to fall. There's not going to be a whole lot to deal with these Mutas up front. I think if the Mutas go in after the tanks and the Lings are allowed to get on top of the rest of it, I think it's just going to be over. It'll just be GG. Ghosty in such a great position is going to prevent the third CC. Might actually even get a good cancellation on 2 of those barracks. Oh, he is going to stop combat shield, though. That's a great pickup. Oh, yeah. Rotating the Marines all the way up to the high ground is going to leave those tanks completely exposed. Oh, those tanks were DOA. Now all the tanks are complete, and this army should just be able to push on in. And here comes Ghosty. Endless TV is going to try and make this as good as he can, but this is just going to be way too much to deal with. Mutas are going to pour on in. Biles are going to rain from the skies. G. Not even GG, just G. And Ghosty with a commanding win over his Terran opponent. GG. Well played. Alrighty. Well, we are going to get set up and ready for our winners match. It is going to be Ghosty versus Arog Fire. The winner will be moving on to our main event 2 weeks from today on May 30th. And we will be getting ready for that match. So while we do that, I am going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. My name is Rushy. You're watching the Alpha X Junior Championships. This is Group A. We will be right back with the winners match, a PVZ. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. We are set and ready to go for our winners match here for Group A of the Alpha X Junior Championships. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. My name is Rushy. It's going to be a ZVP, Arog Fire versus Ghosty. The winner is going to move on to our main event 2 weeks, May 30th. My birthday. My birthday's in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be even older than I am. All right, chat. Fun game. Guess. How old is Rushy going to be in 2 weeks? I will give you a clue. It is not my golden birthday. Upset with that. Beautiful. All right. Let me know in the chat. How old do you think I am? And be prepared. I'm like that mom at your family gathering that gets really, really sensitive if you overguess. Everyone's like, it's a surprise birthday party for your mom. And you're like, happy 55th birthday. And then she goes off crying because it's only my 54th birthday. I'm so old. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we better get into this game. It's already getting dicey. Spawning in the top of Purity and Industry. Our Teal Zerg playing for Magdeburg Esports. Give it up for Ghosty. Is that a spawning pool I see? What? And spawning in the right of Purity and Industry, our red Protoss playing for Alpha X. Give it up for Arog Fire. Yo, what's up, Sun Lily? Folks, we're in the midst of a celebrity. All right, Arog Fire is going to come on over and see that this is a pool first opening here. Now, is this the pool first opening that I'm used to? It's not. It's going to be 8 lings behind this. So this is going to be heavy ling aggression at the very beginning of this game. But let's not count Arog Fire out just yet. He might get a little cheeky here in map number 1. Just to be clear, guys, Nightbot is broken, I believe, across Twitch right now. So if you're trying to use Nightbot, I apologize. It is not working. However, 2 minutes ahead of time, Rushy has already given you the bracket. You're welcome. All right, Lings are going to get aggressive with the Cybernetics core. Some very, very good micro with the Zealot. With the second Zealot out, that is going to push this all away. That Zealot's going to be able to engage a little bit more freely. And all the Lings are going to get pushed back home. Well, sad day. So this probe didn't get as cheeky as I thought it might. Just pulling it off to the side. Gonna get a nice scout off into the main base. Doesn't see any major tech. So Ghosty is just Lings, Queens, and Drones behind this initial push. So we are gonna see 2 Adepts shade on in. Oh, the surround of the century! Whoa! Oh, that's so much damage! And yet, he killed so much behind that. Protoss is OP! All right, hold on. StarCraft 2 boards. Hi, I'm a Zerg player, and I get a full surround on 2 Adepts with my 10 Zerglings, and they still got away. David Kim, what are you gonna do about this? All right. So Arog Fire doing a nice job right now. Kind of zoning this all off. Hasn't gotten any major damage done, but considering that this was a rather aggressive opening by Ghosty, has done a pretty reasonable job of holding. Ghosty is going to get out to a 3rd base, so this is not an all-in by any stretch of the imagination. Ghosty's also done an okay job of droning up behind all of this. But both players are just going to go back to their corners and get coached up here for the next wave of the game. We do have an Oracle in production. That is going to go straight across the map. Spore Crawler's already down in Ghosty's mineral lines, so that will be a rather non-issue, but a robotics facility is also going to go down as well. Sun Lily, you have nailed my age on the nose. 31! I will be 31 in 2 weeks. I'm an old man. I'm an old man, chat. Ooh, the Queen's trying to get a good position on the Oracle, but the Oracle is going to sneak on in. One drone. Oh, could have been a second drone. Ghosty very, very quick about throwing it down a Spore Crawler. No lair tech just yet. Actually, just working on speed right now. So it's going to be a lot of Ghosty trying to zone out this Oracle, which honestly is damage in of itself. It's just more indirect than it is direct, I killed your drones, I killed your production damage. It's that APM and micro damage where you're forcing your opponent to do things other than spreading creep and building units. And moving out onto the map and positioning and all that jazz. +1 melee on the way, as well as a Roach Warren going down. Speed just completed. A War Prism going to fly out across the map as a Forge goes down. We are going to see a Warp in here. Did he get something super cheeky down? Okay, it looks like it's just going to be Archons. Yep. Going to be two Archons in this situation. And now Airrock Fire is going to do what Protoss players do best. He's going to try and harass at the back of the main base while the real damage is going to move off to the left here. And there really isn't a whole lot here to defend it. There isn't even a Queen at that main base. So immediately drones are going to get pulled, but they do have to get pulled back because they were going to run into danger. The Queens arrive and will be able to shove off that initial damage. More roaches on the way, 10 roaches in production. Lair on the way. And both players just trying to position. I would say that Airrock Fire is trying to work towards a little bit stronger aggression here, dropping down 4 more gates. What's that bring him up to? 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that takes us to 8 gate. This is a very aggressive timing that Airrock Fire can hit. Ghosty trying to do his best to get ahead economically here, building more drones, getting more speed. This Oracle, oh my gosh, the value that this Oracle has brought to Airrock Fire. These are the Oracles that make me want to like smash my keyboard into a wall. Because it just gets so much free information. Both players going to transition here into a mid-game style. Airrock Fire has that full third base already taken care of. +1 missile attacks on the way. He's going to try and clear up some of these paths. More scouting information. Unreal. Flies on in. Boop. Flies on out. Free scouting for who knows. Who knows how long. Well, lots of Banelings coming in. So Roach Ravager Ling Bane. I would say Ghosty's probably winding up here for a bit of an engagement. Baneling speed on the way. Oh, it's gonna be Dropper Lords. So these Banelings are going to be aggressive, but it's not gonna be with the main army. So we're gonna have to see if these Overlords can get across the map in a sneaky fashion. This Oracle has been doing absolutely everything possible. Okay, so this is a big push here. The double Immortal Prism. Bit of a Zealot Warp in. But once again, Ghosty knows that the real danger for Arog Fire is moving out across the map. So that's actually some really nice distraction, if you want to call it that. This Warp Prism still alive. Has not effectively been dealt with just yet. I'm going to get a nice surround by the Queen. That is a dead Warp Prism. And that is going to set Ghosty up here. I think Ghosty is going to try and move on in. Only now does he see the Dropper Lord. Dropper Lord is not being dealt with. No pulls. Oh, that's big damage. Oh, 7 shooting down right from the get-go. But that, yeah, I was going to say, that Dropper Lord's got a boogie. Oh, he's pulled that whole army out of position. There's just no probes here. So Ghosty is going to run away with that, but walks away with 9 probe kills. That is not insignificant damage. Oh, I just felt like every fiber of my being go, yes, that Oracle finally falls. Oracle got amazing damage here. Spire on the way, Hive Tech on the way, more Banelings, +2 melee attack. Ghosty's going to try and wind up here as both players are maxed out. The problem here for Ghosty, though, is that the army of Arog Fire has a lot more sophistication to it than the army of Ghosty, which is mostly Ling, Bane, Ravager. Now, those Banelings can connect with the Zealot underbelly, and with good engagements, he could engage on top of the Archons, but not ideal. Zerglings are going to try and do a little bit of a run-by. They are going to find a nice warp-in of Zealots. So he does need to be careful, but that damage is mostly mitigated, and there's not a lot here for Ghosty to deal with this army. Guardian Shield goes up. Queens are going to get zoned out just a tiny bit. These Banelings having to try and find their way in and are unable to do so for right now. So Ghosty just trying to buy as much time as he can. A Greater Spire on the way. We're going to see Broodlords. All right, so good zoning of the Banelings. Banelings are going to come pouring on in. The Archons starting to fall. But Ghosty's army completely tanks under the pressure here. More Roaches are in production. Lings come spilling out, but these Archons are just so strong. The Baneling run-by on the opposite side of the map is going to get a lot of damage done. That cleans up a good chunk of econ here, but Ghosty just doesn't have any units back at home. I don't think he's going to be able to get Broodlords in time. But 17 workers do go down for Ghosty. More positioning here. Ravagers trying to bile on the army. This Warp Prism is so pivotal to Arog Fire's push. If he were to lose that Warp Prism, this could get shoved back, but there's going to be so much lost here. And actually, the Spire is exposed. Arog Fire, all he has to do is walk up to the northwest and just engage that, but I don't even know that that much is possible. All right, the Warp Prism did get picked off. 13 workers dead at this point. The Greater Spire is now complete. Broodlords are going to be morphed in way off to the side. So this is now getting a little dicey. Ghosty's going to try and wall off the top of his ramp just to buy himself any amount of time he possibly can. There really isn't a whole lot to deal with Broodlords at this time. But I fear that Ghosty's going to have lost just way, way, way too much. Yeah, the Broodlords are done now. That wall lasted a total of about 4 seconds. And now this army is going to get shoved away. Good surround by Lings and Broodlings. But yeah, this is just going to get recalled all the way back home. This army continues to have nothing to deal with it. And 5 Broodlords, excuse me. 5 Broodlords, 6 Corruptors, and a Dream. Oh, and more Overlords going down. The drones are super exposed with this Queen. Those Corruptors can shoot absolutely nothing. And it's only going to be a matter of time before these Broodlords get zoned out. And A-Rod Fire. I mean, just look at his positioning here. He's sitting on 4 bases. He's got absolutely no damage done in his main. He's got a large kill army and stalkers. This is one of the rare few moments where you can just engage directly into Broodlords. Does he have Blink? Blink is just about done. Oh yeah, the moment Blink finishes, he's just gonna do the world's biggest Blink forward. And just be done with it. Oh, good surround on that Archon. Ghosty trying to make as many plays as possible for his highlight reel. Mom, I got wrecked by this Protoss, but check out this sweet thing I did. Ah, yeah. Giant Blink forward. One of the Broodlords immediately falls. Second Broodlord on the way down. Some very good transfuses, but yeah, that final Blink forward, that's going to be the one that seals the deal. It does not matter how well Ghosty engages here. He just has nothing to answer for the remainder of this army. And with the rest of the Broods going down, GG is called, and map number 1, kind of a slugfest, goes to our French Protoss player in A-Rog Fire. Sun Lily wants to know if she gets a prize. Sun Lily, you get the honor of knowing just how old I really, really am. I'm so glad that you get to that explicit honor. So we're going to jump into map number 2. We're going to go to Nightshade. A-Rog Fire up 1-0. If he can close out the second game, he will move on to our main event. Dang, a lot of talking, a lot of water. Chat, good opportunity. Get yourself some water. If you have, mix it with some G Fuel. You can do that. You got a Dr. Pepper? No, get that off your desk. A Coke, a Pepsi? No. Throw that away. Hydrate or dihydrate. You can do it. I believe in you. But if you want to mix that water with G Fuel, you go for it. Good opportunity to plug one of our mainstream sponsors here for Alpha X. Okay, so map number 2 is going to be on Nightshade. Taking our sweet time getting loaded in. That's okay. No big deal. I tried to see if there was a Matcherino available for this event, and I've seen tons and tons of Alpha X Matcherinos, but apparently nothing for today. Alrighty, we're in. We've done it. Bang. Wait, no. Bang. We've done it. Alrighty. Map number 2 here, spawning in the top left of Nightshade, looking to win to stay in this match. Playing for Magdeburg Esports. Give it up for Ghosty. And spawning in the bottom right, our red Protoss player, 1 win away from moving on to our main event, May 30th. Playing for Alpha X, give it up for A-Rog Fire. OK Doomer has asked, just got here, what MMR are these players? Most of these players are between 4,500 and 6K. All of these players have to be under the 6K MMR threshold to participate. So that is about one of the only restrictions. The other one being that they have to be 15 years or younger. And then how does that make me feel? I'm gonna turn 31. I just hang on to 4K MMR. And here we have children that are less than half my age. Rocking out like 6K. Like it's nothing. Makes me ponder life, chat. Makes me sit here and ponder. All right. Pretty standard opening for both of our players. Gateway expand for Arog. Hatch gas pool. Third base going down actually a little early for Ghosty. Not so early that it would indicate anything major changed. There's going to be a Stargate for Arog Fire. Stargate all the way at the back of the base, too. Interesting scenario here. All right. First Adept's going to move across and scout. I don't think it's going to find a whole lot. More than likely not going to leap forward. Just going to scout the situation of that spawning pool. Does see that it continues to wiggle, 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 wiggle. And we're just going to continue winding up here. Oracle's going to be just about finished. Ghosty's going to be prepared for it, though. Robotics facility also coming down. And this is going to be a pretty typical ZVP opener for both players. Oh, boy, howdy. Ghosty, did I ever want to see you go for a 19 drone all in to quickly put yourself into a match number 3. But that's not going to be quite the case. Queens are already mobile. More queens on the way. Oh, and did you see that sport crawler? All I did was just repositioning. Yo, everyone. Thank you so much for the follows. Thank you for supporting Alpha XSC2. I know there's a lot going on today. There's like a little, I don't know, a little private tournament. Nobody's ever heard of it. TSL 5? I think that's what it's called. Who knows? Oh, that probe almost getting picked off. Those lings not quite able to get that done. But of course, I'm talking about TSL 5. And we strongly encourage you to check that out after the completion of our event today. How old are the juniors? The juniors are all 15 years and younger. All right, large swell of lings gonna come over here. Very good positioning on these adepts, but that's a large number of lings. It's gonna get a nice surround. That pylon's gonna go down. I think there's enough Zerglings here. This is gonna get canceled. It's gonna get just straight up killed. What? No. That's huge damage. All right, so Ghosty actually pulling Arog Fire all the way back to his base, having to bring the Archons back home to deal with this. Gonna try and jump on top of this one last time. Okay, that gets canceled once again. That's some great damage by Ghosty, trying to drag that out as long as humanly possible. I really like the queen wall here. Oh, dang, that was exciting. Reverse Warren actually kind of being placed in a bit of a weird location. Lyra on the way. 4 more gateways in production as well. Probably going to take us to an 8-gate scenario. Yep, you betcha. 4th base already on the way for Ghosty as well. Ghosty getting a lot of good damage done. Oh, you are not going to survive in this one, Mr. Oracle. Sorry, I shouldn't take sides. But as a Zerg player, Oracles are one of the more frustrating units in the game for me. So anytime I see a good position on an Oracle, boy, does it make me feel good. All right, Warp Prism. Gonna try and clean up this scout before it gets a chance to see anything of value. And what's going down behind it? More pylons, +1 on the way. Roach is in production. Ghosty's done a really nice job of staying on A-Rog-Fire's side of the map. So there's not a whole lot of surprises in this game, but A-Rog-Fire is going to start winding up here to move across to this sizable army. Couple of Immortals, couple more Archons. Warp Prism's going to be able to help deal some extra value damage to this as well. It's going to be Roach Ravager Ling for the time being. Baneling Nest actually only halfway completed. That feels a little bit late, like an oversight on a Ghosty's part. Then we're going to see how Ghosty can manage to deal with this, as the Protoss army has arrived here at third base. Is trying to wedge itself in. Does zone off all the queens, so the queens are going to be forced to transfuse to save their lives. 2 queens immediately go down. 3 and 4 also taken care of. Some very, very good force fields. Zone out a good chunk of the army here. That mineral line is going to have to be pulled. I believe a good chunk of the queens will be killed. He's just going to move right on top of this army. Feels like he has what he needs to keep this alive. Some more zealots getting warped in. That Roach Warren is dangerously exposed here. A-Rog-Fire only needs to turn and focus on it for a second, and that thing is going to disappear. 20 workers getting killed on the front side of this. A-Rog-Fire is just putting on a clinic here in his ZVP. Ghosty doing everything he can to poke and prod and whittle his opponent away at the beginning of the game, but it's just not enough. GG! A-Rog-Fire advances to our main event in 2 weeks. Well played by our French Protoss. We might be doing an interview here in just a moment. We absolutely will be. So we're going to get a chance to hear from our player here in just a moment. So we will go ahead and get set up for that. Okay, well, I got into the interview category a little bit too fast, and I know that if I jump in too early, we don't get a chance to do a proper introduction. So we'll go ahead and be patient here as we get set up. So with A-Rog-Fire advancing, that means he will be our first seed in our semifinals 2 weeks from today, May 30th. We'll have our losers bracket here in just a moment. It's going to be Optimistic versus Endless TV. So it'll be a PVT. I will get wound up for here in just a moment after our first qualified interview. For today. And oh, no party. That's interesting. Oh, and okay.
Hello guys, and hello A-Rog-Fire. well play for your win today again against Ghosty, because it was hard the last season, but last season you won against him in the playoff, and now you win against him in the group stage, taking the first seed. So how do you feel right now, and do you think you're better than Ghosty now? Or?
I won't say that that easily, but I think that if he find some cheese or thing that I don't know, he can win me some BO. But I think within that, I'm probably better than him. I don't know. I say it. Within
Okay.
the cheese.
Okay. I have a few questions about your games. So I saw you play in underdogs against Minimat, and against Ghosty, I was surprised you never play with Storm. So I was wondering, why do you prefer to make always only Archons and not to play with Storms?
Because I find that Storm is really cost, and to be honest, 4 HTs is a lot, and I haven't a good micro with them.
Okay, okay, makes sense. Reshi, do you have any question for young French player here?
I do not. I just want to say GG. Very well played. Congratulations for advancing to the main event 2 weeks from today. It's my birthday, so it's a happy birthday present to me.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Okay, then I have another question for you. You took first seed, but who would you like to confront in the semi-finals?
Baby Marine or Wannabe Bune, I think. It will
Okay.
depend on which of the two qualified to the playoff.
So I guess not as a striker. That's what you meant.
Yeah, I prefer.
Okay. Quartis, do you have any question?
Not really. Just want to say well played. That was a very convincing win against Ghosty, and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, let's go in the losers match. Well play, and see you in 2 weeks. I rock for you.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye.
Alrighty. Cool. Well, so that was our winner, Arog Fire, advancing on to the main event 2 weeks from today. We're going to go ahead and take a short break while we get set up for our losers match. This is going to be a PVT. The winner will move on to face Ghosty in our deciders match. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. My name is Rushy. You are watching the Alpha X Junior Championships Group A. We'll be right back. Right after this. All right, welcome back, folks. Thanks so much for sticking around. We are getting set for our losers match between Endless TV and Optimistic, a TVP. The winner will move on to our deciders match, where we will see who will be joining A-Rog Fire in the main event for Season 6 in 2 weeks. We're going to be loading into Simulacrum first. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you're catching the VOD, thank you so much for watching and getting caught up on what could be the future of StarCraft 2. All of these players under the age of 15, under the MMR of 6K, fighting for experience and an opportunity to learn and grow as they work out their potential future in StarCraft 2. Could be exciting stuff here. We are going to go ahead and get jumped into map number 1 of our losers match. And we'll get going. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Protoss. Playing for Regenerate Gaming. Give it up for Optimistic. And spawning in the top left, our red Terran. Playing for Remember the Game. Give it up for Endless TV. Actually, he's got a knight on there. Ooh, look at that. Fancy, fancy stuff. Okay, so it is going to be a little bit of proxy shenanigans here. Proxying one barracks out across the map. Is Endless going to be able to block that off in time? He is not. So Optimus is going to come up here and see a normal opening. Oh, Endless, yeah, like my dude. There you go. Funny stuff. All right. More than likely going to be Proxy Reapers coming out here. 2 racks. Not going to be an overcommitment here. But definitely a big situation. Ooh, it's going to be a reactor. Is he going to go for reactored Reapers? Yeah, Optimistic keeps coming up here to see what the next building's going to be, and he just keeps noticing, like, there's nothing here. Oh, he's going to get the gas steal on top of it. Amazing. So Optimistic is going to try and slow this down as much as possible. He senses that there are shenanigans afoot. Stargate's going to be on the way. What is going to come out of this reactored barracks? Is it going to be Double Reaper? Oh, looks like it's going to be Marines at this point. And this gas steal is allowed to happen, which puts Endless TV in a little bit of a tough situation. The factory's going to come out onto the map. Very, very interesting play here by our Red Terran. All right, so second gas is now available. Adept's going to come and do a little bit of scouting, but that's some really good delaying by Optimistic. Sensing that there was going to be a weird timing, a weird push, trying to delay that as much as possible by eliminating the gas income. So the factory is now done. And Oracle goes down behind this, so Optimistic going to try and rotate as much as he can. And Endless TV just trying to build this all out onto the map. He's going to do a 1-1-1 up here on the top side all by himself. Reaper goes down to the 2 Adepts. And this is starting to get really scary here for Endless TV. Now, he does have a sizable force up on the top of the map, but if for some reason Optimistic were to shove across and get to Endless TV's main base, I mean, it's going to be hard to deal with. All right, Oracle's going to fly into a completely empty mineral line. There are a handful of Marines that will defend this. The entire mineral line gets pulled on top of 4 workers going down. Now, will Optimistic see this move out? He sees the Marines, but he does not see this. He might undercommit here. Optimistic does have 2 shield batteries going down. It's going to be difficult to deal with the tank, in my opinion. Yeah, and Optimistic doesn't have a clue that this is hitting here. He's going to now see the Marines come forward. He's going to go, wait a minute. You didn't have all these buildings. So, Endless TV going to try and get some good positioning here. There's really nothing to deal with the overwhelming forces here. Tank's going to shut down the shield batteries at the front of the base, so this tank is going to rotate forward. Lots of workers going down on the other side of the map. The Oracle is going to try and kill as much as he possibly can. But there's just no splash damage available to deal with the Marines. I mean, I think these Marines could just stim on forward, and I think they would just clean up the remainder of this army. The Nexus goes down at the natural, and this is now becoming a very scary situation here for Optimistic. Good choke on the ramp helps prevent Endless from being able to push forward into the main base, but all of these pylons are going to go down. Optimistic, once again, supply blocked. A second tank has arrived. And now things are starting to look a little bit dire. There's some good micro here trying to pick away at some of the Marines, but the second tank is now up onto the high ground. This is very, very dangerous. All the probes get pulled all off of the line. One of those Immortals does go down. Oh, so many pylons. So many pylons are just dead. So many probes are just dead. So much everything is dead. And I think Endless TV is going to bamboozle his opponent here and move on to game number 2 with a 1-0 lead. Wow, what a play here by our American Terran. USA. USA. All right, so map number 2 is going to be determined here in just a moment. We are going to go to EU. Okay. So we're going to go back and forth. We were on North America. Now we are headed to EU. We'll find out here in a moment what our next map is going to be. I don't have information. Well, that's a name. Oh, no, 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 no. It's not me. They've put me in the... They put me in the competitor slot, and I do not want to. Oh! Wait, why? Hello. I'm back. I don't know why that happened. Alright. Well, we are ready to jump in here to our second match. Endless TV up 1-0. And we are on EU, so now we get a chance to see if Ping plays into the favor of both of our opponents, or if Endless TV can secure his second win and move on to face Ghosty once again in the decider match. Some bias for America. Well, the good news is I have absolutely no impact over the game. I just sit here and call it. So I feel okay being able to celebrate USA whenever I can. But we're going to jump in to game number 2. We're set and ready to go. You're probably already noticing something that's a little bit different about our blue Terran player. Playing for Remember the Game. His name is Endless TV, but his account name on EU is Hentai Aheago. Unbelievable. And spawning into the bottom right. Or Regenerate Gaming, our red Protoss, needs to win 2 in a row if he wants to advance to the decider match in this Group A. Give it up for Optimistic. Okay, we do have a worker going out right now. It does appear that it's just going to be a scouting SCV at this point, so less shenanigans here in game number 2, which it's possible that it could be, I think it's not a death sentence for our blue Terran. But it could put it down an interesting position for him. I believe, I mean, without looking, without seeing all of the official numbers in front of me, I do believe that our Terran is significantly lower on MMR in comparison to the rest of the players in this bracket. So it's not uncommon for players in a tournament scenario to rely on tricks and specialty playing to try and lock in an extra win or two. So we're going to have to see what Endless TV decides to do here on map number 2. If he has got another trick up his sleeve, or if he's going to try and play macro, and maybe he surprises all of us. Maybe he looks at a good macro build and goes, yeah, I can do that. Bunker going to go down at the front. Probe is going to scout all the way up the ramp. Does see that the factory is coming down. We'll just confirm that he didn't see. He did indeed see the factory, which he did. There's going to be another Stargate on the way for Optimistic, so much more normal game here for map number 2. Okay. Shade's gonna get up. Oh, Shade's gonna get up and in. He's gonna get a full scout off here, and pick off that starport. Both of our players talking about ping. That's why we flip back and forth on the servers to give both of our players a fair opportunity. All right, Endless TV not seeing the Adept that is chilling off in the corner of his base. Hellions are going to try and move out and get out onto the map. Slight bit of hesitation here as Phoenix are going to continue coming out onto the map. Yeah, nice little pickup here. He's going to clean up one of the Hellions. I mean, this is rather walled in. It's not an official wall. He can dive on in. But, yeah, I was going to say, he actually probably needed to go and commit all the way in on that if he was going to find any sort of damage at all, but he doesn't. So he does not scout what is happening here in the main base. The Adept's going to continue to get more and more damage along with the Phoenix. One Adept does get cleaned up in the main base, but nothing to deal with the Phoenix initially. So 5 workers do get killed. And this is kind of what I wondered if this is what I wondered would happen if Optimistic is allowed to play a more normal game. He can step out to his third base nexus at the 5-minute mark, completely normal timing, get himself into a good position. Endless TV actually going into Cloak Banshee, which I think is an interesting choice. I mean, your opponent's already shown you so many Phoenix out on the map that it will be it'll be difficult to find good positioning for that Banshee to get any major work done. But I mean, he's got a plan, and he's gonna try and roll with it here. Those Phoenix are on the fast approach. They are not going to spot this Banshee, so the Banshee is going to continue to fly on in. Will find the main base, probably get some decent damage done as well. But there's still not a whole lot to deal with this. Oh, is he going to get that? No, that is absolutely dead. All right. Actually, very good pickoff here by Endless TV, grabbing the Oracle. No revelation is available. He's going to have to build a second one. Shield Battery is going to get a lot of damage done, but as long as this Banshee has energy, it's just going to continue draining the energy of the Shield Battery that's sitting in the main base. And now the real damage is going to start beginning. All the energy off of that Shield Battery is taken care of. 10 workers have gone down. Oh my gosh, so many more workers being killed at this point. An Oracle is going to finally revelate this Banshee, but not before 16 workers get killed. That was the damage that he needed. So behind all of that damage, he is getting his stim pack timing +1 on the way. Some more tanks being produced as well. Charge is on the way for Optimistic as he tries to pick up the pieces just a little bit. Lots of probes to try and repopulate that main to get some of that economic advantage back. Being able to sit on 3 bases has been a help for him. But I think if he's allowed to continue playing a normal macro game, I think Optimistic is going to continue to run away with map number 2 and put himself into a position to have a rubber match. But I think Endless TV, yeah, Endless TV's in fighting position here. He's got the tanks, he's pulling the boys. The Oracle is going to spot this, and he's going to revelate the entire army. So Endless TV is going to have his march broadcast live to his opponent all the way across the map. Stimpack just now finishing at the same time Charge finishes up as well. We're going to have to see how Optimistic tries to engage his opponent here. He is going to try and jump on the backside here. What an amazing surround. So many zealots. The tanks are all lifted up there, not allowed to help with this fight. And every single piece of bio gets cleaned up here. Oh, wow. What an amazing engagement. GG is called, and Optimistic giving himself a game number 3 in this series. Oh, I'm off to the side. Let me turn and square up. We're gonna head back over to the American server, and we're gonna see a game number 3 here. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out. If you are enjoying this content and you want to try and support it financially, check out our Patreon listed down. I think, yeah, we look down there. AX Junior Championship. You can help contribute to a monthly event here brought to you by AlphaXSC2 right here on twitch.tv/AlphaXSC2. We will have Group A today. Group B will be next week, same time, same place. And then 2 weeks from today, will be the semifinals and the finals of this Season 6 event. Alrighty, it looks like we're going to take a brief break. Don't go anywhere. Oh, wait. Nope. I think we're set. Sorry. Just kidding. Our brief break already over. It was that brief. We're going to jump into Eternal Empire. Yum bum 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 bum. Yum bum 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 bum. Alrighty, both of our players are set and ready to go. We're going to jump into this game. Winner advances. Loser is going to be out of this tournament for Season 6. And there is a cash prize on the line. Nothing today. But if you make it to the main event, you'll walk away with at least $10, I think. 10. Yeah, at least $10. So $10 for a Saturday's worth of work. Respectful amount of money. Alrighty. Let's see who will make it onto the decider match. Spawning in the bottom left of Eternal Empire. Our blue Protoss player. Playing for Regenerate Gaming. Give it up for Optimistic. And spawning in the top right, our red Terran. Playing for Remember the Game. Give it up for Endless TV. And this is what I was talking about, chat. This is what I was talking about. Endless TV gonna try and pull more shenanigans again in game number 3. He remembers. He remembers how game number 1 went. He won. How do I win game number 3? Let's go back to game 1. Nemesis on the Liquipedia website, it said 1 over to Optimistic. Oh, that just must have been a typographical error. We are certainly 1-1 in this matchup right now. So, sorry about that confusion. I am not in control. It definitely showed it definitely shows a 2-0. So I'm not sure who's in charge of that, but we are definitely 1-1 on this series. So I see what you're looking at, though. All right, so Endless TV faking that he wanted to go for the natural expand on the low ground. Kills off the worker and then just immediately bounces. So it looks like it's going to be a similar build order path here. This must be a build that Endless TV has practiced down. Because this is what works for him in map number 1. Reaper's going to come over here. He's going to see the expansion already in place. Ooh. That Adept not going to complete the shade. Only this time, the probe. Oh, the probe actually, okay, so the probe's got to know that the rest of it's going to be coming down here. But at least he knows its existence. Yeah, shield battery goes down almost immediately. We have an Immortal on the way. And we're going to start seeing more warp-ins happening. Slowly but surely. And Endless TV is feeling confident. He knows this build order. Oh. Okay. Optimistic experiencing a little bit of ping issue. So we do have our players going back and forth between the EU and the NA server. So we're just going to take a small breather here as we try and let this lag spike sort itself out. So how you doing, chat? Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Oh. I wish I had more to talk about. Just sitting here, just playing quietly. So I'm gonna run this to a BRB screen. There's just nothing to talk about right now, so we'll be right back. Hopefully at the beginning of this. Don't go anywhere. All right. Thanks so much for your patience, folks. We have jumped in to our game here once again. We think that we've conquered the issue, but we're not entirely sure. Hello, hero. Hero, let me give you the bracket. Nightbox or Nightbot is it all kinds of down right now. So Nightbot is down across the Twitch atmosphere, not just here. So. Well, we're going to go ahead and wind up here and see what's going to happen. Endless TV does have his proxy build in case you're just joining us on the bottom side of the map. Lots more Marines actually being produced over here en masse to come and join. And this is going to be a very, very difficult fight for Optimistic to try and deal with. Endless does need these Marines to join him before they meet up, and they absolutely will. So Endless is going to try and come forward here. 2 tanks this time on this push is going to be a little bit stronger. One of those tanks is going to be left off siege. Optimistic getting a really good engagement, and that, I think, is going to push this all the way back. Yeah, Optimistic is going to immediately run across, and if this tech gets damaged here, I just don't know. I don't know what Endless TV is going to be able to do, and there's a lot of strong units here. All right, that tank immediately gets cleaned up. The Liberator is going to start trying to position. Stalker is here, and GG is called. Optimistic's going to win. He fights off the lag and moves himself to the decider match. Well played. Well played by our opponents. Whoops, sorry. I didn't do. No. Here we go. Welcome. Okay, well, folks, we're going to go to another break. Don't go anywhere. We are headed to our decider match. It's going to be Optimistic versus Ghosty, a ZVP. You are watching the Alpha X Junior Championships Group A. My name is Rushy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. All right, hello and welcome back. We are here in our decider match between Ghosty and Optimistic, a Zerg versus Protoss. The winner will be our second player to advance out of Group A into our main event 2 weeks from today, right here on twitch.tv/alphaxsc2. If you guys are interested, you're more than welcome to check out our Patreon if you want to support this beyond your viewership. Thank you so much for considering that. We have so many great things going on here at Alpha X. So glad to be a part of it. My name is Rushy. We are going to be jumping in just a hot second. We appreciate all of your patience as we have navigated some tech issues and just traffic issues. Well, not issues. There's a lot of big events going on today. So we're glad that you cut some time out of your StarCraft 2 schedule to join us. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Nightshade LE, our blue Protoss player, playing for Regenerate Gaming. Give it up for Optimistic. And spawning in the top left, our red Zerg playing for Magdeburg Esports. Give it up for Ghosty. So ZVP, Optimistic didn't get a chance to play a Protoss player earlier in this series. No. Ghosty played at Endless TV. But Ghosty did get a chance to play ZVP against Ro8. Oh boy. Okay. So, we know that this is a thing. At least it's not a cannon rush at this point. We're going to have to see how Ghosty reacts. He doesn't really pull a whole lot. He pulls a few drones, but I think Optimistic was maybe hoping he would very, violently react. Not the case. So Optimistic's just going to continue opening standard behind all of this. The only major change happening here is a gasless opener for Ghosty. So Queen's drones are going to come out just a little bit faster. 6 lings on the way will push out this probe. And I wonder if Ghosty's going to try and get across the map and it be aggressive to Optimistic. He did this with Arog Fire in game number 1 and found a varying level of success. Of course, he didn't win game number 1. He lost out 2-0 in the series. But Optimistic's a different player. Currently does not have a hole in this wall, or does not have a full wall off here. Has a big, giant hole. Oh, one of these probes has got to close this up, right? This probe's got to close this up, right? This probe's got to close it up, right? Nobody. All right, so these lings are just gonna just surround. Oh, I was gonna say pylon, my dude. And Optimistic's just not even pulling. So there's a Phoenix on the way. The Adept is across the map. It currently has no kills, so it's done no economic damage. The slowdown on Warp Gate is going to be significant, but there's not a lot of major damage happening here from Ghosty. So this is not a big deal. This could have been this could have been way worse damage. So for now, Ghosty has done a lot of scare tactics to his opponent. He hasn't done a whole lot economically. So both players kind of trying to trade a blow here to get their opponent to react violently, and both players are not having it. They are just going to continue to calmly expand, calmly build. Phoenix is going to get up in here, and that is a dangerously low Phoenix. Oh man, if that would have come out 2 seconds earlier, would have blown that up. Would have been a pro gamer moment. Right, Warp Gate now is complete. The Phoenix, with renewed shields, is going to try and swipe on in and get some more scouting done. But once again, I guess, yeah, no gases up at the main. The gases are down at the natural. Large amount of drones, 44, so they're dead even on workers. Optimistic moving out to his third base, and Ghosty does see it. Ling speed only now starting. And that's one of the biggest sacrifices you make as a Zerg player if you go for this gasless opening, is you leave yourself open to push potential at the beginning of the game. But if you can expand and defend it and your opponent doesn't get too aggressive from the beginning, you're probably in a pretty good shape. And that's exactly where Ghosty's at right now, going into his fourth base location. Optimistic is moving out to take his third. He will have plenty of workers to start running out towards that third. Charge on the way as well. More gateways being warped in. It's going to be a large amount of roaches for our red Zerg player. And big round of drones as well to help top off all of the gases and all of the mineral patches on this 3-base build order that Ghosty has going. Shingdings, what's going on? So glad that you could be here today. So Lings are going to scout the 3rd base and see that it is rather saturated. Ling going to try and wiggle its way into the natural. Is not going to get a chance to see the Templar archives, but Aspire is already on the way with more drones. Ghost is going to try and work his way up to a 4-base economy here before building a large amount of units to fight his opponent. That's some bold play. That is some bold play. Oracle is going to get a revelation down. He's going to see the 4th base, but again, nothing of major consequence here. Both of these players just leaving each other alone and getting their armies up where they want them. Psystorm is on the way to just a little over halfway completed, and a 4th Nexus is going to go down as well. So Optimistic is going to find himself in a good position. But look at that supply. Ghosty is jumping out in front, 142 to 119. I'm also just really surprised at how passive both of these players are playing here in map number 1. Mutalisks going to be coming out as well. 10 mutas going to be on the field, and they're already out moving across the map. Oh, 1 High Templar does get picked off, so that is 1 less storm is going to be available for the main army. And the mutas are going to now start doing their rounds as they swing around the map here. There is 1 Phoenix that was going to thought about engaging, but it was just like, no. It's my union said that that's not good for my health. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. 10 workers have gone down. The main portion of Optimistic's army now moving out across the map to try and deal a little counter damage. But wow, look at this scenario here. Oh, that is an immortal completely caught out. So that's gonna just die for free. 11 workers having gone down. I don't believe that's on top of the workers already killed. But now the 4th base has been discovered. The 1 Phoenix does get killed. And yeah, I was gonna say, these roaches are just gonna move out in the opposite direction. Muta's pulling all the stalkers across. Ghosty's not watching these mutas, so the mutas are going to all die. But not before these roaches weasel their way in. In fact, oh, just now do the stalkers get a chance to see this. So that is going to be a lot of probe kills. 1 cannon in the main mineral line will delay a little bit of damage, but I mean, it's going to be so little. Oh my gosh, is that an Artosis pylon? Oh, it is. Oh boy. Optimistic is trying to scrape this one back off of the bottom of the barrel. But those are just going to be, oh, I was going to say, pick that worker. You know that worker's going to go build something. This is just going to be really difficult for Optimistic to try and rebound from, as Ghosty is now just going to strike from many different angles. He's got creep all the way past the central point here. He is moving on to his 5th base. These are a lot of exposed probes. Here's the full combined army of Optimistic. I mean, this is a scary force here. Ling Bane. Actually, just going to be... I guess there is a little bit of Ling back here. But this is going to be a dead base on top of it. So Optimistic caught out in the middle of the map. He's being a little indecisive. Not a good place to be in if you're a Protoss having bases killed. Oh, cute little wraparound here to try and connect with these High Templar. One Baneling does get on top. So many of them are just so dangerously low, and some good storms do go down, but I can't help but feel that a lot of those were panic storms to try and get the energy out as quickly as possible. The Lurker Den is just completed, and Ghosty has done all the damage he needs to do. GG is called, and map number 1 goes to our German Zerg player, and Ghosty's been in this position before. Last season, he found himself in a similar shot trying to fight his way into the main event, and he's showing that experience here in Season 6. So we are ready to move into Everdream. In fact, we might just be jumping right on in, and we are. Ghosty on the cusp of claiming a spot in the main event. Can he clinch it? Or will his Protoss opponent come up with something? Maybe a committed cannon rush this time, and move this game to another rubber match. We'll find out here in just a moment. Oh gosh. It's a big stretch. That is a big stretch, chat. Alrighty, here we go. Could possibly be the last game of the day. But not if this player has anything to say about it. Spawning in the bottom left of Everdream, our blue Protoss playing for Regenerate Gaming. He needs your energy. Give it up for Optimistic. And spawning in the top right, our red Zerg playing for Magdeburg Esports. 1 win away from advancing. Give it up for Ghosty. All right, so Optimistic not gonna commit to a full-on cannon rush. Now, it doesn't mean that it won't follow with a forge. We've seen plenty of that. We're just gonna have to see what actually happens here in game number 2. Ghosty, I think, does have the slight MMR advantage over his opponent. So it's not unusual to see Ghosty have a little bit stronger macro skills. But right now, just going for a typical gateway expand. Yeah, we're gonna see a normal game here out of our Protoss player. I'm guessing that he has a bit of a build to set himself up into success. Ghosty going for a hatch gas pool. Absolutely nothing unusual about this. But Optimistic's going to try and keep tabs on when that third base is going to go down. There's actually a lot of Lings coming out initially. 8 Lings will move across the map once again. Ghosty going to try and deal that opening damage that he found in game number 1. And there goes the third base. So this is actually, it's interesting to see how not committed a timing this is for Ghosty. Ghosty able to make 8 Lings move across the map to try and get some damage done, although Optimistic's in a better position to fend this off in game number 2. He has his Adept. He is on patrol. More than likely will be able to try and zone this out. In fact, yeah, he's got both of the Adepts. This is a much better position to be in for our blue Protoss player. Yeah, because 2 Adepts will easily zone this out. He's got, yeah, and there's the wall. So now this is just a categorically strong position for our blue Protoss player. Behind this wall, Optimistic going to move into a Phoenix Oracle style play. The Adepts are going to try and get out across the map, see if they can find any drones. And Ghosty's got plenty of them. Opening gasless once again. Going to take both of those gases down in the main, or in the natural, excuse me. This Overlord is going to dive on in. Let's see what it can scout here. It does see the Stargate here. And that's going to be all it sees because that's all that's there. Robo Facility, excuse me, is going to be down in the natural. That is going to be in production. And both of our players just going to continue just droning up, probing up, and getting set for a longer macro form game. And here goes the Oracle. Oracle gonna try and get some work done. The Queen's on patrol already. Are all the Queens hanging out? They don't appear to be. Lair Tech on the way. This is actually a really fast timing for these gateways. 4 gateways underway. But it's not going to be dedicated pressure. Looks like Optimistic is going to get out and lay down his third. Oh, maybe. Gonna have to keep an eye on that production tab right now, trying to maneuver that Oracle however he can. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I don't think this is gonna be a macro game much longer. And Ghosty has seen that this Nexus is not down, so anything beyond 5 minutes for Protoss is usually considered dedicated pressure. Yeah, and here's exactly what's gonna happen. Gonna move across the map. Adepts on the way. No resonating glaives, so this isn't gonna be a very strong upgraded timing. It's just gonna be dedicated pressure. But this is rather all in. Still no third base. Ghosty has recognized that this is coming. Has pulled all those Queens down to the third base location. Spine Crawler is underway as well. But Lings alone are not going to be a great way to fight this. Those Adepts are still, even on the slow side, will still be difficult to fight with Zerglings alone. Queens are in high numbers. Some good transfuses go down. One Guardian Shield does get popped. Lings trying to go forward. Those Zealots doing so much work trying to tank. It's going to be a big shade forward on top of those Ravagers. I think Optimistic's in a good position. He's going to let that shade finish, and he's going to get a full surround on those Roaches and Ravagers here. The Queen's continuing to get some really good damage done in the mineral line. Lots of good transfuses. This is kind of a back and forth. It's very difficult to see. Ghosty does have the supply advantage, but there's still a lot of really strong tech units here for Optimistic, but that is slowly waning. The Queens are still alive. They're continuing to deal more and more damage, and the Warp Prism gets picked off. And with that Warp Prism going down, 11 drones do get killed. So much damage done by Ghosty in that defense. Well done, and a third base is still not on the way. So Ghosty will be able to recoup those losses economically. But Optimistic is going to find it very difficult to try and climb back into this game. And it looks like he's just going to try and wind up and go back across once again. He's going to have another Immortal. He will have a Warp Prism under production. But Ghosty is going to just respond economically. He's going to take that fourth base in a forward location. Continuing to get himself back into position. Only now choosing to go for more drones. And here comes Optimistic. I mean, this is kind of an all-in moment for him. He is positioned ready to take that third Nexus, but I mean, this is a big moment. If Optimistic can't shut down this third base location, this will be very, very scary damage. Oh, and actually, could that Zergling get a kill off? I think it absolutely will. All right, so that probe's out of position. So more than likely, no third base on the way. The Immortals get picked up, and they're going to swing off to the side, and Optimistic just going to go home. Optimistic, no. No, this isn't the call, my dude. Oh. I think he was mind flooded by the one Zergling that took out the worker at the third base expansion. All right, so two Immortals in a Warp Prism is not able to be ignored. We're gonna kind of fire away at the spawning pool. I don't think that that's going to go down. Yeah, he's gonna have to pull that away. Two Spine Crawlers, not gonna be enough. Or it's gonna be too much, rather, for Optimistic to deal with. Ghosty's gonna continue to get more and more work done. Yeah, he finally picks up the Warp Prism. GG is called. Ghosty making quick work of his opponent here. Going 2-0 in this series. And he will advance on to our main event. We're gonna check and see if there's going to be an interview. I believe there will be. So we're gonna get set up for that here in just a moment. We'll get a chance to hear from our German Zerg player.
Hi.
Ghosty! GG, friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Ghosty.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing pretty much, I think.
Okay. Well, you won against Optimistic, but you lost against Fire. So I want to ask you first a question. How do you feel right now against Protoss? Because I feel you have more issues against Exostriker and Fire lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my Zerg got CVP got like really worse. But I hope I can fix it.
Okay. Well, congrats anyway. You qualified today. I asked this question to our Rockfire sooner today. Who would you not like to confront in the semi-finals from Group B? So there is Baby Marine, Exostriker, Spy, and Wannabe Beyond.
I think Exostrike.
Yeah, okay. Our Rockfire has the same thing, so he probably will take Seed 1, you know? So that might be hard for you. Okay. Do you have any question, Rishi?
I do. I was going to ask you, Ghosty. Game number 1 here against Optimistic, and he throws down a pylon, and you sent a couple of drones, but overall, you just didn't really react to it at all. Did you know that he was bluffing on that possible cannon rush, or do you just feel confident against that?
I really feel confident against cannon rush. Like, if I sent a third drone to to some base, and if he would have cannon rushed, I would have just cancelled the base and expanded somewhere else.
That's awesome. Yeah, I noticed that, and I just how calmly you were just like, just send a couple of drones, no big deal. So it looks like you were very confident, and you did a great job. Congratulations for qualifying for the main event.
Quartis, do you have any question for a young German player?
Actually, I had one, but I just forgot it, so I should say congrats.
Thanks for your participation, Quartis. I have a last question for you, Ghosty, on this last game. I'm really wondering, what was the aim of your build order? I was really surprised at first, like taking a really fast arch, etc.
Yeah, I took a 13 hatch, I think, or so. No, a 14, and I thought it's the 16th drones, so I sent the drone to take the base, but I didn't build the 2 drones. So I was like, I built a 14. Oops.
That was basically a mistake, right?
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Okay, that explains it. Okay, well, Ghosty, congrats for your qualification, and you will be playing in 2 weeks against maybe Exostriker, Baby Marine, Spy, or Wannabe Beyond. See you in 2 weeks.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Alrighty. Folks, that's gonna do it for us today. But if you want more AX Junior, yo, Renegade, thank you so much for the raid here. As we are just getting shut down and wrapping up today's cast here. But don't feel sad. If you want more up-and-coming action of StarCraft 2 players, we will have our Group B, same time, same place next week. It'll be 12 o'clock Central Daylight Time right here on twitch.tv/alphaxsc2. For now, we're going to go ahead and sign off. My name is Rushy. If you want more of my content, I am going to say hi, guys, in the chat with a heart. You can click on my name, twitch.tv/RushySC. Been playing lots of StarCraft. I'm a Diamond 1 Zerg. Really working to climb into Masters for the first time ever. If you enjoy my content, feel free to check me out there. But until next time, thank you so much for watching and hanging out. We look forward to seeing you at another Alpha X content in the near future. But for now, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you're at. Take care.